lights, neon glow. Back when nights had a show. Horror tales, midnight fights. Living through those rapid nights. Garrett spoon spin and play. Deadpit boys lead the way. VHS line the walls. Physical media calls. Oh, those rapid nights we love. Talking movies, feeling tough. Nostalgia in every bite. Dancing through that neon light. Every scream, every shout. Spooky tales, no doubt. Friends around laughing loud. We were young and feeling proud. Old school vibes in the air. Those days we did not care. Days and nights full of charm. Treasured moments arm in arm. Oh, those rapid nights we love. Talking movies, feeling tough. Nostalgia in every bite. Dancing through that neon light.
Some tales are told, then soon forgotten. But a legend is forever.
Blood from the chainsaw, feel the pain. In Texas skies, the horror reigns. Lost in nightmares, no way out. Desperation, twisted shout.
Whoa!
Bulls. That's how you do an intro
That'll
right
get
there,
you
boy.
jacked up right there, boys, or jacked off, one or the other.
100%. That was sick.
That beat me to completion. But seriously, y'all remember that Excalibur promo? It's
Yeah,
like
I
one
wanted
of the
that
best.
movie. I wanted that movie.
That is one of the best. ever made.
Unfortunately, that trailer was like 10 times better than the movie.
Yeah.
So,
It kind of was. Yeah.
I wanted that. I wanted that Excalibur Leatherface. He looked
But
like
yeah.
my friend's father in that fucking trailer.
welcome, everybody. It is a very special 50th anniversary show for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the franchise.
Shane Douglas. Oh,
Right.
you mean the franchise?
The whole franchise. Yeah.
Alright.
So, we're going to be talking about all the films tonight. There's nine films in this franchise. What? How did that happen? Like, I can remember, like, when we started the show, there was only 4, right? 4 movies. Is that right? Or 5? Maybe 5.
When we started the show, are you talking about like the original DEADPIT show?
Yeah, the original show.
Oh yeah, there was like
Had to have been
maybe 5, yeah, because that new one had come out in 2003,
Mhm.
the remake or whatever. So yeah, unfortunately there was 5.
But yeah, we appreciate everybody tuning in. This is, I guess, our big Rad Pit show for October. We are going to be arguing all night, talking about I guess from worst to best, up towards the top, it'll probably be similar, but I guarantee you there's a couple on here that you guys won't have on your bottom list, but we'll talk about it here in a second. We do have a packed chat in here, not almost already 100 plus people in here. Got Foz Rotten in the house, Jackson Jack, L.A. Jewel, JTS F13, TJ Frizzy. A lot of people are talking about some sort of announcement that's going to happen tomorrow. I haven't heard much about it. Do you guys know anything?
Nope. I know what you're talking about.
Nothing.
I haven't heard a thing.
You talking about Rumpelstiltskin?
Well, that was already announced.
Oh,
That was last week. Blu-ray and 4K Phenomena, Antonis Andriotis, The Witch Hunter, Ryan Lund, Chris C. the Slasher Dude, Billy D. Williams is in the house. He's drinking some Colt 45 tonight. Old school.
Oh,
yeah. The Big Money Man is in here. Big Money Mark.
Woo!
Did you boys see that Terrifier set from Umbrella for $135?
Listen, he's going to get that. Mark will get that. I guarantee it.
Can we talk about that really quick? I haven't had a chance to say anything about it today.
Sure, go for it.
In public. I would love to have a Terrifier box set. I really would. I would love to have a nice box set with all the Terrifiers in there and in 4K. I really would love that. But I'm not going to love a box set for a franchise that's not over yet. That's my issue, right? Like, why are we putting out a box set for 1, 2, and 3? So when 4 comes out, they're going to do this again? Because when 1 and 2 came out, they did a box set for 1 and 2. So I'm not going to do this game again. So I don't need those posters. They're weird sizes. That's not, I don't need that. And what is that Lego figure? Are they kidding me with that thing? Like that's what we're going to start putting those things in bundles. Lego guys?
There was another box set that did the same thing where they put out a box set, but they already announced another movie. That was not too long ago too.
Fast and the Furious does that like every year. So
it's like, why would you want to do that? Like,
it's like those Saw sets too. I mean, they come out there's a new Saw set every time a movie
that
comes
a lot.
out.
Yeah. So like, that's my biggest problem. I think it's a cool set, but like, to me, it seems like a cash grab. It's like, hey, buy this now and we'll do this again later and we'll rebuy it. Like, why not just wait until it's done and then release this beauty of a set? Why are we rushing to this and not just saying, oh, hey, we'll release part 3 or whatever they want to do? But I just think to have a box set and to call it the collection, knowing that they already signed on for a 4th one, it just seems silly to me.
They want your money. Yeah. They've come for our money.
Umbrella's like the most expensive company too, right? And then
I don't think the price was the worst. I think, you got a lot of shit in there. I think it was $135, but you got to pay for shipping. But I mean, it's not the worst price. I just think it's the concept to me just feels just a little off. Like, I have the steel books of 1 and 2. I got the steel book of 3. So I'll have all the steel books. And if a cool box set comes out someday, once this is all over, then I'll buy it. But I think a lot of people are going crazy for something that they're just going to rebuy in a year and a half when Umbrella does it for the next one, So that's why I don't know if people are thinking about this, but everybody's so quick to pull the trigger and say, look what I got, when they're just going to have to spend that money again next year to do this all again, because we know that they're going to put out a full box set once it's all complete. That's kind of what
that pretty much everybody's just quick to pull the trigger on everything nowadays. Like, they just won't buy shit for content on their damn shows. And no, Michael Phelps, this ain't Room Morgue Radio. There'd be a bunch of rondos and stuff flying around if it was. This is regular DEADPIT.
What's
radio.
Michael Phelps in here for?
I don't know, but he needs to get on here and talk about absolutely nothing. He can just talk about.
We ain't got nothing. We're talking Texas Chainsaw. He worked on a bunch of the extra material for part 2 and that god awful Next Generation movie. We'll talk about it a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
TJ Frizzy wants to know where your Born to Be Rad mic koozie cover is.
I have a certain kind of mic. I don't think it could hold one of those things.
I think they make the pop filter with the logo on it now, so you can maybe get that.
Interesting.
Anyway,
you need a cover like a beer can holder on that thing.
Part of the 7.9% Leanna beverage. TCM is a stinky franchise.
What up, Leanna?
Well, another thing I was thinking about, Garrett, though, with these big sets and they're getting outdated and everything. You did a video on a killer set from Blockbuster. Yeah. What happens whenever they make another Halloween movie, though? You know, it's happening.
Let's pray they don't. And if they do, like, and here's the thing. Honestly, if this set didn't have Rob Zombies in there, I totally be okay with that, because to me, that's a whole different universe, right? So if they come out with a new Halloween movie, unless it's connected to Laurie Strode and Jamie Lee Curtis or this old story, like, then I could see, okay, shit. But if it's like a new beginning, I don't care. I would keep those all together. So I'm kind of good with, this is the close to this. Is it the end of the chapter? Then to me, this is complete. If they do more Halloween stuff, let's hope it's just a whole different, restart.
Scream Factory, though, they need to get in touch with that guy. They need him very badly.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, it would make those bundles so much more desirable than be like, hey, look, you got some stickers, pins, and, an extra slip cover that you're never going to use. Like those things, that's just silliness to me.
That horse left the barn. Scream Factory's dead. They're dead. They're dead in disco. They're just doing 4Ks and shit. It's over with.
Yeah. Vanderhoff, buddy, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. So
listen. There's no sense in getting into any of it. That's crazy talk.
The only thing that I heard is they're changing servers at Severin's website, and it's down. Or not Severin, sorry.
Severin.
Severin's site is always down anyway, but
yeah. Synapse is doing maintenance, though. That's all that we.
Yeah, website maintenance. Y'all are, I don't know what the hell. Yeah. But you guys want to go ahead and talk some Texas Chainsaw Boys?
I can't wait to talk about these first couple movies.
Some of the worst to the best. God. And I guess we're going to do, like we said, like a round robin sort of deal. And if any of us match, we can, I guess, raise our hands or same one. Because I think some of these are going to be, some of the worst we may have the same ones.
Oh, Slippy said he can come on. Do you want to bring him on?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. Impromptu right now.
Oh, what? This is what this show's all about, boys. Excitement, live and in your face.
All right.
Mothership.
Let me send him a link here.
You never know what's
I don't know what the hell he's wanting to talk about on here.
I don't know either.
Texas Chainsaw.
Texas Chainsaw, yeah, he did some special features.
Go tell everybody Slippy's about to come on. Go share this around.
Yeah, everybody share the news to your family and friends and neighbors. Post it on.
He wants to talk about Leatherface. That's all.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sending it to you on Facebook.
Listen, we're not allowed to say that anymore, so let's not encourage that type of behavior of saying the name that shall never be mentioned on here.
Who?
We can't say it. I can't say what they're saying, but it's a nickname that is totally not existent anymore.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. I've totally forgot about that. That's just
yeah.
As we're waiting on Slippy to get here, Uncle B, you want to go through the chat? See what people are saying?
No, I don't give a fuck. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding with y'all. Come on. I don't even know where to begin. There's like 400 people in here.
That's going nuts, dude, right now.
We got Horror Orman in here. We got Ryan Lund. We got Chris C, the slasher guy, dude, brother, warrior, Andre. We got Big Money Mark, Jackson Jack, Vanderhoff Rules. Big Rod's on here. That's Slippy's favorite.
You got the theme?
We've got TJ.
Yeah, let's see here.
Me and Wes have like
where the movie lovers go. There's a man called Slippy, everybody knows. With that no-selling look on his face.
Here he is, boss. Michael. Not. I'm not even going to say the name.
No, we can't.
Hello. That's his new theme song. I have to get the shortened version of that where it just kind of gets to the song. But how you doing tonight, man?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Doing
good, man.
Getting ready to talk some Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're going to talk Leatherface 2017. That's one of your favorites, right?
Coming in hot already.
I don't think Slippy's sleeping tonight for some reason. I just have a feeling.
Oh, I'll be sleeping tonight.
It's gonna be sleeping on a bed of money for these Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That'd be
releases.
He's gonna be like Scrooge.
I about said
I'm
something.
gonna Scrooge McDuck it the whole time. I got
Do it
this
like
big
back-
vault. I never understood how they. Only in a cartoon can you dive into a pile of hard coins like a swimming pool. If you tried that, you'd break your fucking neck.
Well, let us know how it feels.
Yeah. When you-
that's exactly how. They're building the big vault in the backyard, and they're just gonna fill it up.
Cannonballs in there. Do
Yeah.
a video. I love it.
But yeah, we're just gonna talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We don't nothing else.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, there's
'Cause
nothing. There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is.
Is there anything changed with King Frat? I know that was a rumor. The 4K of.
I'm so glad I came on. Really, I'm just. Why do I do this? Every time I think I'll go on, that'll be fun, and then about 15 seconds into it, it's like, oh, that's right. These guys are a pain in the ass. I forget.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Yeah. Well,
I
at
mean,
least
we've
at least
always
Uncle
been that
Bill's
way.
got a decent computer and camera set up now. A couple
That's-
times ago, I swear you were broadcasting from like the past or something.
Listen. There ain't no sense talking shit about me. We've only got a couple of more hours left until we can be friends before you're like a millionaire. So we need to.
Go off on
He's
an
like,
island somewhere.
He's gonna
Yeah, I
big
don't know
league.
what
you.
the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
But
He's on Dead Meat Show tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you only do
I
dead
can't
meat
hang
from now
around
on.
long enough really to talk about Chainsaw too much. But do you have any other questions you wanted to ask me since I'm here?
I've got 1,000 questions, but the question I have is does the chat have any questions? Are you taking questions from the chat, or are you just taking questions from us?
I'll
'Cause
take
we ain't worth a
questions from
shit.
you.
What can we ask you? Is there anything that off limits right now, or what?
Oh, you can ask anything you want.
Well, what's okay?
I mean, you know, that's whether I can answer or not is another question. But you can
All right.
ask anything.
If that's the case, then Slippy, can you tell me your most traumatic memories starting from 5 to 1 in sequence?
Well, right now, 5 was agreeing to log on to this chat about 2 minutes ago.
I say you just give the news now.
Yeah.
Get everybody all hyped up and excited for tomorrow. That's what I think.
Well, I just think that tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time, there could very well be some great news.
All right. So I'm just going to throw it out there, Sleepy. Just going to throw it out there and ask, what is the worst Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie?
God, that is tough.
There are a couple of contenders. The one that I liked the least, the one that I've gone back to watch certainly the least, was the one called Leatherface from 2017.
Yep.
Yeah,
I guess that would be a good start to our list.
Not that movie's like unforgivably bad. It's actually got some decent photography and performances in it, but it really has fuck all to do with Leatherface and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It goes too far afield of it for me.
It's like a never-ending TV movie too. Like it was a TV movie, right?
I don't know. At the end of the day, after watching it, I was just like, I don't know what the point of this was, and I didn't really get anything out of it at all. It was just sort of like, all right, I don't mind you trying something a little bit different, but you got to give me something that's interesting. And I just didn't ultimately give a shit about really anything that was going on in the movie. The guys who did that have done some great work in the past, so I was hoping that they would bring some of that energy to the movie, and it was like, I don't know, there just wasn't any meat on the bone there, so to speak. So that's my least favorite of all of them, which is, although I really actively disliked the remake from 2003.
Act like that's a surprise, Garrett.
Yeah, that one really pissed me off, but I haven't gone back to revisit it. Actually, the beginning was pretty good up until the last 10 minutes, which just went so far fucking ridiculous out of completely. I just couldn't hang with it anymore. And Chainsaw 3D's got some fun stuff in it, although I don't think that movie hangs together all that well either. I actually
No.
like the Netflix one surprisingly more than I thought I would. And Chainsaw 4 is an odd duck of a movie, but I do like the fact that it tries some different things. So, I mean...
What was do you know much about, like, Texas Chainsaw 3D or whatever, Texas Chainsaw? It seems like part of the movie they were thinking, they were trying to be like in the 90s, and the other part of the movie, it was like that's just so odd.
The timeline got completely screwed up in that movie. Characters should be a good 10 to 15 years older than they are, and there's technology that's present that shouldn't be present, and it doesn't make any sense. It was they tried to have their cake and eat it too, and the original script was drastically rewritten, and someone just really, I don't think, was paying attention. And I think at the end of the day, they just said, fuck it, who cares? No one's going to care about this. But it's like, well, we kind of have to care. If you're saying that she's this character, there's no way she could be this young, or it can't take place in the year you're saying it's taking place in.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
It was like, oh, come on, guys. You got to, but
yeah.
that movie had a lot of problems. But I think it was well-intentioned, and I love the opening. Even though I don't know where all those Sawyers came from.
Just new characters out of nowhere.
Yeah, they just put out someone stood outside and blew a horn, and it summoned all the Sawyers from the neighboring counties.
What is your other than the first one, Slippy? What's your favorite brood of Sawyer clan? Because there's like 10 different ones throughout these movies that show up.
Well, I connect the first two together because there is a direct line of, I guess, heredity there going on, the same characters, and so I kind of combine those two together. Other than that, I love the family from the third one. The performances in that movie are really strong, and I really dig on the family dynamic that's going on there. And I actually like some of the material that was presented in the beginning. I thought the family was much more interesting in the prequel than they were in the remake, which was a shame because the movie goes so completely off the rails in its final act. But I would have to say Leatherface Chainsaw 3 has one of the more interesting families. And actually, Next Generation has some good stuff too. I like it when the families act like regular families and bicker and piss at each other and get tired of their own crap. And, the fact that they're cannibals and, killing people is sort of almost beside the point. And I like that when they just kind of concentrate on, at the end of the day, they can be cannibals and all these horrible people, but they're still a family and they're still going to get on each other's nerves from time to time. So I would say probably, aside from the first two movies, part 3 has, for me, the most interesting family.
I kind of agree too. Is that the one too with go ahead.
We need a good physical media release of part 3. Like that's,
I agree.
Yeah.
What the hell? Yeah.
Well, they did that video. They did an archive edition of it,
right?
But they didn't have much. And actually, the special features that were on the original DVD are actually quite good. Guy Jeffrey Schwartz who did a really nice job with that stuff. And I would love to tackle part 3. It would be bittersweet now because Jeff Burr is gone. It would feel kind of weird because Jeff was such a great storyteller and was very candid and very open, and that was a very troubled film in a lot of ways. But I would love to see a big special edition of part 3 at some point.
And there's a director's cut of that too, that like they did the studio cut the hell
editions of that movie.
Yeah.
There's the unrated cut, the R-rated cut, the original theatrical cut, which had the original ending on it, and then there was another. And there's no cut of that movie that's super gory. That's the thing.
Yep.
There's cuts of the movie that have certainly more gore in it. But even while they were shooting it, New Line was like, "Oh, don't make it too gory." They were New Line seemed to have buyer's remorse on that thing from the moment they started it. They were just like, "Okay, this is gonna, Freddy's kind of waning, so we're gonna bring back Texas Chainsaw. And he's gonna be the new Freddy, but we don't want it to be like Freddy. We want it to be harder than Freddy. Okay, well, we don't want it to be too hard, but okay, well, so do you want it to be R? Well, yes, but not really. Maybe, I don't know. What do you think? It was like." They never seemed to really get a handle on exactly what movie they wanted. And it shows in the final cut. The movie it's not nearly violent enough to really leave an impression at times. And it's like the movie needed a little extra oomph in a couple scenes. But then you see what the uncut versions were. It's like, well, that's better, but it still feels like they're kind of holding back a little bit. But I like that movie a lot. I really do.
You know what?
Right.
The way the physical media is working now, it's like no matter what gets all prettied up, everybody finds a new love for it. So something like
Right.
Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw 3, if Red Shirt Pictures put out an edition with 4 cuts of the movie and all these features, people would buy the shit out of that. I guarantee it.
Lenticular.
4K, 4
I would
cuts.
love to. No, believe me,
Lindy.
I would love to work on a. But that's over at Warner Brothers, and I don't know what
They license a lot of stuff out though, right?
They
So,
do,
like,
and there's several companies working with them now. So maybe fingers crossed, someone will get that one at some point. But I would hope they talk to me. That would be wonderful, because I've worked on 1, 2, 4, and 3D. I've done special features for all those. So
Just tell them you want the whole thing. Don't say I'll work on it. Just say I want it.
it's just give me.
Anything for you, Mike.
It's gotta be
what
super
you got to get
aggressive.
on too.
with
Like
Yeah.
a lot of these studios are doing VHS releases now, like the boutique labels and everything. Is that something that you may be thinking about doing down the line?
It would depend on the movie. I'm not just gonna do it. I think it's cute to do the VHS releases. I don't put any stock in terms of. Well, this is really
That's
a
kind
true
of-
edition.
That's kind of
You
the
could
best
just hear-
underhanded
Yeah,
diss ever.
The
like, yeah.
disdain in his voice when he said it too.
It's cute.
It's cute.
Well, because it's
Someone
like,
post a picture of a VHS that they just
Yeah.
got. Like, that's cute. The comment.
well, look, I have a lot of I have a lot of nostalgia for VHS. Like, that's what I grew up on, and thank God for VHS, because that's how I got to see most of the horror movies that weren't made here in America because of VHS. And it's what we had, and I had a huge VHS collection. So I'm very grateful to that format. That being said, it was a pain in the ass. The tapes broke, the fidelity was terrible, they would crinkle, they would jam, you had to rewind them, they were often full screen, they weren't letterboxed. It was just, I can appreciate it for what it was when we had it, but we've moved on and gotten better, and that's a good thing. So I don't have any particular nostalgia for VHS in terms of, well, that's the optimal viewing.
It is though when you put that
Format.
piece of tape over the one part of it and then you record
yeah, so
like
you can
3
tape
different
over it
movies.
again,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, again, lots of nostalgia and a lot of warm feelings, but time has passed. We have gotten better at this. Let's not kid ourselves. But for nostalgia factors and for a, hey, that's really cool factor, doing a VHS, a limited run of VHS is pretty cool.
And for the money
if and
factor.
when Trick or Treat ever comes out, maybe some point do a replica of the original Lorimar tape. That might be kind of
yeah.
fun.
Dude, like people love gimmicks now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen this little gimmick right here, right?
Yes, that's the 50th anniversary set. Yes, that's nice.
Is it $300 nice? I don't know.
You tell me.
I wouldn't pay $300 for it. That's just
What did
me.
you pay for it?
Yeah.
What did you pay for it?
What'd you pay?
I didn't pay shit for it. They sent it to me. And I
Oh.
love Dark Sky Films. So,
Of course you do. They just sent you a fucking chainsaw.
Yeah.
but yeah, they've got the
That's
the
really cool.
4K
I like
and
that.
the-
Is very nice.
Yeah.
No, I don't mind stuff like that. If you make it cool, that's great.
So you're saying that Trick or Treat's going to come in a guitar? Is that what you're saying? There's a
In
special
a
bundle.
guitar?
That's enough.
No, it is not going to come in a fucking guitar.
Ship
No.
that out. That'd be killer.
He's got a
But,
limited run.
By the way,
we did get a super chat before we forget.
Yeah.
Dude who loves movies.
What up, Cody?
He says, "What's up, everyone? Don't forget to roundhouse kick the rad button, balls. It's radical. Fondle it. Thank you, man.
by the way, I know you can't stay on here long, Slippy, because you got a busy night and everything. But
Gotta get some rest.
yeah,
Gotta-
before you stuff your mattresses full with the money. But
Again, I think you guys are way overblowing the
Yeah.
potential financial rewards of anything coming up. But look, all I'll say about what could be potentially going on is that I'm very, very happy that this is finally out and coming out and being done. I'm just it's been a long process. It's been a long and learned
I'm
a
sure at
lot.
some time we'll talk about it at some point in time.
Yes, but we will very soon. But I'm doing a chat tomorrow on my own Facebook page at noon Eastern Standard Time, in which all will be revealed and talked about. And
And it's
should be
weird
a
too
very-
because at the same time, like they've got some sort of countdown thing on.
you know, I saw that. I saw the Synapse site is down, and
Those
there's an
bastards.
indication of something happening tomorrow, right around that same time.
Is Chris Jericho going to be on there or something?
No, it's just maintenance. It's just they're just cleaning the site up. That's all
Right?
it
Yes,
is.
I think that's exactly what it is.
They are. They're putting a lot of servers on that site right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's just-
So I got a question though, just for myself and my own personal benefit here. Like, how imperative is it that I'm on that site tomorrow at noon?
Oh, I don't think it's gonna be something that you're gonna need to be lining up like you're buying tickets for Comic-Con or anything.
Right.
You know, but get in there and buy stuff.
That'd be cool if there was something already in the mail. You know, you don't have to
Yeah,
worry
that'd be
about the site.
There isn't.
Yeah,
You wouldn't have to
that
worry
would
about
be nice.
you wouldn't have to worry about the fighting for that site. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I
he's getting something. The guitar.
He's gonna get the guitar case.
get the fucking guitar.
Maybe it's a guitar pick then. It's cheaper than it costs way less than a guitar.
Cheaper than a chainsaw.
Was the holdup trying to piece together a comprehensible Ozzy interview? I will say that in regards to Trick or Treat, we did wait a while to hopefully get Ozzy. That was something I was hoping to get. It just didn't work out. There were several reasons why it didn't. And he was actually very communicative and very cool about it. But it was ultimately something that we weren't going to be able to do. And, you know, look, at some point you just have to accept that that's the reality and move on. You know, you can't just keep holding up the show for one little thing. But it would have been great. But, you know, what are you going to do?
It is what it is. So basically 12 p.m. noon, you're going live.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody should be
Facebook.
watching.
Yep.
Yeah, Eastern Standard Time on the Michael Felcher Facebook page. Is that
That's
correct? Okay.
Now, as to what we're going to be talking about, I have no idea.
Right.
But,
Exclusive.
you know, there could be several things. But I will say that it is probably going to be pretty interesting, I would think.
I can't
Nice.
imagine.
I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Can't wait.
But thanks, guys.
Can-
I hope that you tune in. And if you don't, you miss out on what's going on. Well,
That's the one that I want. I want that one right there.
Can I have that? Can you just?
no.
Son of a bitch.
No, I gotta tease this one last time. This is the last time I'll be teasing anything when it regards to Trick or Treat's release plans. Believe me, I've gotten a lot of shit from people saying, "How you said it was gonna be out by this point, said it was gonna be this time." And to be fair, yeah, I was hoping that we would have had been celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the release right now, but things went the way they did. But I think it's going to be worth the wait. I really think people are going to be very happy with the set. But we'll just have to wait for a formal announcement of when it will be available.
Yeah, man. Well, whenever that is, I just want to say congrats. You did
thank you.
you did something that nobody thought could be done, and could appreciate that. And I can only imagine how much work went into this, considering, like you said, it's your first real big.
Well,
venture.
I owe a huge debt of gratitude to Don May and Jerry Chandler over at Synapse. I mean, it wouldn't have happened without them. And Don applied all of his meticulous, just skill and craftsmanship and his quality control to this, like he did any title for Synapse. And it is, yeah. I actually haven't really let myself get excited about it this entire time because I keep thinking, the asteroid will hit right before it comes out, or something's gonna happen. But nothing, did. So I'm very, very relieved that this particular bucket list item is potentially soon to be resolved.
Yeah,
You can
It's
sleep
awesome.
soundly on your pillow of gold doubloons tonight, Belcher.
How uncomfortable would that be? How would you
You
even...
have like a
I don't know. It would feel pretty good to me. If you know.
yeah.
Now I'm sure when this is available, it's not going to be limited. So like someone asked, would it be one per person? Because there's multiple ones, would someone have the option to purchase each?
Yes, I would
Okay.
imagine.
What
I'm
about
thinking
all
that
three?
For sure.
if you went to like, the Synapse website at some point to order this thing, there might be an option for you to order all three at once. There might be that possibility.
Nice.
But I don't know for sure. But I have a feeling I'll probably know more by about 12 noon tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
Break-
bundle of
breaking
3
news.
are already on their way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he has one.
All right, well, guys, I gotta head out, but I appreciate all your support over the years, and
What's with that shit? We support you
We
all the
support
time.
you all the time, man. We've hyped this thing up for almost 2 years for you. What
no,
you
I'm
talking
just being
about?
a dick. Well, a dick. I'm just. It's just that's just the way I am. But hey, you gotta love me.
Hey
right?
man, thank you for coming on and and doing
Sure.
this for sure. You didn't have to do that. Good luck tomorrow. Go check out Michael Felcher on Facebook tomorrow around noontime. He's got some more stuff to tell you.
Mhm.
So definitely want to check that out.
And
All right.
the Synapse
Hi,
Film
Slippy.
site simultaneously, right?
Check
Yeah,
them both out at
apparently-
the exact same
Apparently
time.
they're gonna have their server issues or whatever it is resolved at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So that'll be nice. That'll be good for them.
Yeah,
I'm
get
very
your
happy.
main computer on the Synapse Film site and list Slippy on your phone.
There you go.
I love it.
All right,
That's what I'm
guys.
going to do.
Talk to you later.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you,
right,
dude.
man. Have a good one.
Oh, good. Thank God that's over with. Fuck, I hate those guys. Shit.
You're
what a
still-
bunch of
you're
assholes.
still-
Who's
you're-
guys?
You're live.
Oh shit! Is this thing still on?
Still in the
He starts playing that guitar with all the
Oh,
distance.
shit. So basically, like, you guys know what's up. You know what to prepare for.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I think he might be surprised tomorrow.
Oh, it's gonna
I'll-
sell out.
Yep.
I think it's possible. I think it's possible they may sell completely out tomorrow. So you guys, you got a little bit of a heads up.
I
Be
dread that
prepared.
shit, man.
Get your credit cards ready.
I mean, I don't dread it. I'm just saying I dread like going on there and trying to get that.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
it's
For
nice to
everybody.
have
Yeah.
some early ones in the mail already. So you don't have to worry about that.
It would be really nice.
I tried. I
Yeah.
tried. I was like, Don May, I'll, come on, buddy. But it's out of his hands.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. And again, I understand people are mad, but hey, this is a question to ask him tomorrow on Facebook. Obviously, you saw in his hand that these things are done right now. As soon as you hit order, are they packing these up and shipping them out? Because if that's the case, you
Well,
may have this in hand by Halloween. We don't know those answers yet, but those are the questions I think you should ask him live tomorrow, just to confirm, because there is a possibility for that, which would be insane.
I was going to ask him that flat out, but I have a feeling that he wants to wait till tomorrow to do that. So,
Well, you saw what was in his hands, didn't you?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
But I mean,
are
just
we
about
allowed
like
to
how
use
long it'll be on, before anybody could get it. That's my question.
because we
I'm
want all
thinking.
three of them. Can we just we can just use the rad pick card on those, right? We can just use that.
Yeah, the company card. Yeah.
Sure. Let's go for it.
Cool. Love it.
Yeah, so there was kind of a scoop. We got one scoop. The other scoop will be tomorrow at noon. So you guys ready to talk some Texas Chainsaw Massacre? So
I'm ready, boys.
we're kind of running late. So let's talk. Garrett, who wants to start?
I
Uncle
can.
Booger.
You can start, and then we'll just go from you to me to UB, and we'll just fire through some of these early ones, I guess.
Yeah, I think suck ass anyway.
Okay. You want me to start first?
Yeah, come on.
Is there something I can help you? What do you need? She's sitting there staring at me.
Is there something I can help you with? He says to her.
What the fuck, man? Like, I can't.
Say we're live, pal.
She's been in here for 5 minutes. I'm not kidding.
Is there
She's making sure you're not ordering trick or treat sets. That's what she's doing.
I get fucking murdered if I said that. If I was like, "Can I help you something?"
I was trying to be nice. Oh,
We're
shit.
live, pal.
Yeah, I was hoping one of y'all would start so I could ask her what she was.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Okay.
Right
So
now she's saying, "Buddy, fuck you."
she probably is. Yes, it just makes more sense for you to start though. That way we can just go like around.
Yeah, I don't care to
in,
start.
in the order.
So I mean, I think that this is pretty much, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I think the worst one is the Leatherface 2017. Like, to me, I can't think of one of those other movies that I would be least likely to rewatch than that.
It's Jack. He did.
Dude, I swear to God, you standing here. I can't talk when somebody's staring at me.
She doesn't like when Slippy's on. She gets mad. She comes in.
Feeling on like
She's mad about trick or treat being delayed. Get him out of here. I don't.
She's like, I want to talk to him. Let me on the show.
I was not staring at you.
I don't know what she was wanting. Oh shit!
I hope she takes that chainsaw and smashes it right in front of you. Right
She
now.
probably will.
Shit.
It's free chainsaw. Here you go. $300 my ass.
It's just the best thing ever. Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to get into these movies now, but it is what it is.
Well, I was gonna say before all that became awesome.
Eli Roth.
That tone.
Yeah,
Jimmy says, "I know that
I
tone."
don't know
well."
why, but
That's funny.
oh shit!
That's the same one that's my last one too. I'll just tell you
Same
that.
one for me. Look, there
Yeah.
it is. This is the beauty piece right
I
there.
can't believe you own that, Garrett. Why the fuck do you own that?
No, I'm a
own it, too.
Why
completist.
do
What do
you
you want
own
me to
it?
tell you? I'm a completist. I need it. I need to put it with my
Well,
chainsaw.
it's been like $5.99 forever, to be fair.
Solitary.
Okay, so I watched that today for maybe like the second time just to kind of like remember it. It's like Felsh was saying, that movie has zero shit all to do with Texas Chainsaw, really. Like, there's not even really at the very beginning and maybe like towards the end, but all the rest of the middle is like a crime drama. They escape from that. They go to the psychiatric hospital. They escape from that. Steven Dorff is fucking following them around like as the sheriff. And it's like the weirdest kind of crime, natural born killers tone kind of thing with Leatherface. It's so fucking just
It's got that little hat.
odd.
Didn't it debut on the Sci-Fi Channel?
I don't know. I
It
remember.
looks
think-
like it would
I
have.
think it did.
So this
That-
is supposed to be like an origin story of like the original, or an origin. Like, is that kind of where this one falls into play?
I
Like,
feel like they always go back to the original. Yeah, I
There's
think
so
that
many
they-
origin stories in these movies. Like, how many different origin stories for Leatherface exists? Like, it seems like all of the sequels have some sort, aside from the first three.
just cash, actually.
Yeah. It's like,
It's like a convention. They just take cash.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I had them all, and I tried to write my thoughts about all these movies in order, but I don't have anything to say about it. It's just fucking boring. It's not a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
no.
I swear to God, the entire movie is fucking people running around the woods. Like
It's
That's
very
all it is.
bizarre, man. Like it's not like you said, like I kept waiting for something to happen in it that would resemble Texas Chainsaw in any way, and nothing ever does. Like, it's a cross country adventure trek crime. Like, I don't know how to even explain it, but it certainly doesn't feel at all like Texas Chainsaw, and there's nothing really gory in it either. Like,
Oh, had a big release on DirecTV. Yeah.
it's
so, yeah,
a piece of shit.
it was released on direct, like paid streaming or something like that.
pizza shit. Yeah.
Pizza shit.
Yeah. So I mean, what do we all have? Leatherface.
Yep.
Is the worst one.
Yes.
So I guess that
Oh.
brings, is it back around to me or what?
I don't know. I'm going to go to me, and then the next time he'll start.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we could do it.
yeah, I mean, if we all have the same thing, there ain't no sense fucking
All right.
going around. So
This
when we
may
get-
be a little hot take for people, but my next one is going to be the Texas Chainsaw that came out like last year. What is that? 2023?
Oh, the Netflix Chainsaw Massacre.
2022.
Yeah,
I think.
Netflix Chainsaw is my next one on my
That's
list.
actually my
I
Netflix.
I really did. There was like, it didn't even feel like a Texas Chainsaw movie to me. It felt like just some rushed bullshit with Leatherface in there. It was weird. I didn't care for it at all. I mean, when you have a movie that says you're going to be canceled, bro, to Leatherface, I mean, at that point, it's already done for me. It's gone. I don't care if it was a cool scene or whatever. As soon as that's the dialogue in a Texas Chainsaw movie, or maybe any movie, for instance, it's already like, I'm shut off now. So yeah, there's nothing about that I thought was good, except the music at the end. I like that theme song that they play.
Oh yeah, the hip hop version of
Yeah, I love that.
yeah, and it does this thing quite a bit. I think it played it.
Kind of did.
Wes is having a rough night.
But you remember my favorite part about that movie though is when he's out there in the sunflowers, he's just popping up like a fucking gopher.
Like a seed,
Yeah, there he is.
There you
like
go.
a CGI head. He just like looks.
Yeah.
out at
I've got it
yeah.
on loop now. But yeah, I don't really remember a whole lot about the 2022 movie, but yeah, it's definitely not good. I watched it the one time.
Now, was that
And-
yours on the next or no?
No, mine's different.
Oh, you're. Woo!
Oh my god.
Boy.
Listen.
What
I
about
think-
you, Uncle Bill? Did you have 22?
Yeah, my number 8 was the Netflix Chainsaw Massacre, but also that's probably the worst looking Leatherface too. Like whoever made that stupid fucking mask that does look like a piece of bologna or something draped over his face. Like,
And he pops up out of like the sunflowers or something. Like
yeah, that's what I was saying. And they bring in the whole gimmick about like he's like like a Confederate or something like that. There's Confederate flags in the house. And,
Take that down.
like, yeah, and there's a whole woke aspect to it. And it's like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Yeah,
No
but
way.
He looks
Nigga,
like
that
Dusty
shit.
Rhodes.
He does look like
Does
Dusty.
he,
actually.
like-
Let me tell you something, babe. I'm popping up out of these sunflowers, if you will, in Romania.
That's what it was, Romania.
They fucking-
Yeah.
And then
the-
there's
the
like the fake
Romanian
Sally or whatever.
Chainsaw Massacre. You know what's
Like
surprising?
It's Sally, but it's not really Sally. But it
Oh
is.
God, I forgot about Sally being in that. Yeah.
It was
Mick
what's his name
Garris.
played her.
McGarry. With the fucking shotgun belt, she gets
Yeah.
killed 5 minutes into it. Yeah, that was real great.
It's like they're trying to do like that whole what do they call that when they have the legacy characters, but Sally's long gone, so they just like threw another lady.
Yeah,
Just Sally
some
now. Like
moment.
it doesn't really work that way though, does it? What makes it work is that the actors were in it. I don't know.
No,
Alright.
they thought they could just throw some old black woman in there, Mick Garris looking woman. That might have been Mick Garris. Really?
So I guess we're going to my number 8, which is not 2022. I think it's the remake, man. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Holy shit. He just buried that. Oh no, he's
I'll-
doing the dance.
I actually rewatched it for the first time in probably 15 years or longer. And there's just so much wrong with this damn movie, man. And everybody loves the shit out of it, too. That's the thing that confuses me.
If Leatherface wants to sew his own shit, let him sew his own shit. Come on, man. What's wrong with that? He's,
Right, he's uses a sewing machine, boys. I
Yeah,
could have
so?
made like a whole page long list of shit that's
That ain't the say it, Wolves. That's a different color chainsaw. I'm pretty sure that's not the say it that Garrett has.
and
Where did you get this? It's got all of them in it.
well, I mean, obviously I think the same thing, TJ, because the remake I've hated this is probably like my least, like, I just hate the shit out of this movie, and I'll always have, because there's multiple reasons. the look of Leatherface is fucking terrible. I cannot stand that. It
He looks like a model. You didn't like that?
he looks like a member of fucking Slipknot.
He does. Like
He
that
does
is
like-
one. That's one thing I noticed when I rewatched it, because I rewatched it a couple days ago. Like that costume and mask looks absolutely ridiculous now. Like I didn't remember it looking that bad when we watched it, but it's really dated. Like awful.
that whole movie I think is dated. Have you rewatched it lately, Garrett?
To be honest, I haven't watched most of these in a while. So I haven't watched a lot of these in years. So I'm just going by memory.
The way that they filmed that movie too, it looks like shit. Like I think it kind of started that whole, like, I don't know, grimy looking filter or whatever the hell they were using.
Mm-hmm. They were doing a lot of that back then.
They had a lot
of Bay shit.
They had a lot of stupid, goofy characters too, and I had to print out like all the characters because I fucking like all the family members and stuff. But even better, I've got a picture of the whole family, boys.
Here we
it's
go.
a family photo. This actually isn't even the whole damn family, because I think they're missing Rachel Dratch and the tea lady.
Rachel Dratch, did you say?
Look at these fucking people now. Okay. You got fucking
leave that little boy. Leave the little boy alone with his Billy Bob teeth. Stop it.
Yeah, you got a old man Nubby with his lapdog first, right? Yeah. He's terrifying the shit out of him. He ain't got no damn legs. He's fucking
that's
scary.
Nubbin.
That's Nubby, and then you've got Poop Mouth Bucktooth Kid. That they've got his name is Jedediah Hewitt.
Yep.
Jedediah they weren't Hewitt. The Sawyers, they were the Hewitts, right? That's what it was in this.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Oh shit, that's right, the Hewitts.
And you've got Granny there. What was her name? Luda Mae Hewitt.
Of course.
And Sheriff Hoyt, who's actually a Hewitt.
He's
surprise.
He's a good character.
Then of course good old Leatherface over there with his nose. One that I wanted to represent on here. This character's name was Henrietta Hewitt. And she had a baby. She was in the trailer with the tea lady. There's her.
Where's Jennifer Love Hewitt? Is she in there?
Yeah.
No, she was filming a movie around this time period.
Oh, okay. So she's the cousin. She was like the hot cousin, kind of like in the
whatever.
Right.
I forgot though, man, the tea lady thing, which was like a real gimmick. Because all she does in that scene is she's like, "You should have some tea, sweetheart. Just have some fucking tea. Sit down here, calm down, have some of this tea." That's all she really
That was her line. And not only that, but they burnt the shit out of this.
Mm-hmm. I hated the beginning of that movie too. And
I thought that was cool when they were making like when they were doing the narration.
No, that part's cool. The John Larry character. I didn't
Yeah.
like the way they did what other movie did that? Was it Devil's Rejects? I think it was, where they would like had the black and white photo reel of like the sheriff walking through, and he was like, "And this is where they found the fucking bodies and shit like that." It looks like the production design on all that, trying to make it look like it was part of a time period that
I
it
thought
wasn't.
that was great with like the fingernails in the wall and stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't good in my opinion. Like it wasn't.
Well, yeah, I think all the main actors. I mean, there's so much. Like, okay,
You like how Andrew Bernarski slams the door, or no?
No, he
Yeah,
sucks,
but that whole
man.
whole thing.
I think
Gunnar did like bashed on him. He's like, Andrew Bernarski slams the door. It's like, he's like, how I slammed the door. He like slammed it so fast.
This is the little thing, but I'll just look this up, and I thought it was hilarious because the movie starts off. They're going to a Leonard Skinner concert.
Yep.
And they're playing Sweet Home Alabama, and they've got the date on there. It was before Sweet Home Alabama ever fucking even was recorded.
Honestly, that's not surprising, really.
I'll
tell you something else. Something else about this movie that always irritated me, but even more so when I watched it now, because people always talk about Arlie Ermey, how good he is. I didn't think he was good at all. Like I didn't think that character worked at all for him.
Right.
Like he gets out of the very first thing he does is like he's supposed to be this shit kicker, like hard ass sheriff, and you would think he'd be great at that, but like he gets out and he spits the tobacco out. It's just so stereotypical, like a character like that. Like the first thing he does is he spits tobacco and he's like cursing at him and shit. And the whole character is just like a bad replica of 100 characters you've seen before. And I didn't think he was particularly good in it.
The cast looks so generic. Like, I mean, they just look like Abercrombie and Fitch models. I've always said that.
You're right. The cast looks too like on purpose. You know what I mean? It was almost like that they were like, it was like the real world and they each had a part to play. Like, you know, and like they kind of dressed them to fit that part. Where the original one just felt like it was like these just wacko people. Like this looked like everybody had kind of a stereotype to be in that family. And I get it.
Yeah,
I don't think the family was good outside of, I thought like in the whole movie, I think the whole family, like more or less, most of the family was kind of a waste of time.
Wiley says it. That's exactly that makes sense to me. It's a Rob Zombie sheriff. Like, yes, it's the same type of like
That was it, man.
It's like a caricature of like how those people that grew up in that time see those kind of like sheriffs. Yeah.
Leatherface uses a sewing machine in it too, if I didn't mention that.
Yeah, he likes that. Let him do that.
Yeah, that's
he got
his
it for his
hobby.
birthday, dude. Like, he got it for his birthday.
He's got to release stress somehow. Fucking let him.
Yeah.
He's missing a fucking nose in it. He looks like a damn jack-o'-lantern when he take his mask off.
He was trying to sew it on with the sewing machine.
But
the new one.
I've just never understood the love for this movie. And look, I mean, it's
I
an
will say
individual
this.
ranking. Yeah, go ahead.
I will say this. Like, in watching that movie back, Jessica Biel, that's crazy, man. She was like, that's got to be like top 10 of that particular time period. The way that she looked in that particular time, good Lord. That's insane.
100%.
Well, the Dark Sky 60th anniversary.
It's got to come in a
sewing machine. You open up the part with the sewing part, it's got all the discs. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
Many still do put that over the original. Yeah.
Well, I guess we're not done my list then yet. We haven't got to it yet.
Right. I swear to God, Garrett, if you
I just felt like I mean, we always talk shit on this movie, so I definitely wanted to revisit it to see if my feelings had changed on it. And if anything, they've probably gotten stronger against this one. So
I gotta rewatch it. It's been a while. It's been a little while.
So yeah, that was my number 8.
All right, UB starting us at 7. This is getting a little shaky over here now.
Well, my 7 was the remake, so we've already really talked about that. So you can go on with whatever else now.
All right. 7 and 6 for me could go either way.
Well, I can mention my 7 since we've already talked about it as well. It's the Netflix Romanian Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
That would be my number 7. It's just there. I think we'd mentioned before, and it really does look like one of those movies that they just put out to retain the rights to the franchise or something like that. Have y'all ever heard the stories, those Hellraiser movies?
Yeah, where they
back in the
just
day?
try to keep it alive.
100%. And like, are they going to do anything with it, or is it like a one and done, right? Like, is that character coming back? Is that actor going to play Leatherface in like a follow up to this one? Or is it just kind of like you said, like, we need to do something, let's do it, and then it's gone? Because it seemed to be like, it was kind of getting like decent. Remember, I think it was like the most watched movie on Netflix for a while. And then all of a sudden everybody stopped talking about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that said they liked it at the time. I don't know if they still do in hindsight, but
Felcher said he liked it.
Yeah, he did. I have no idea how, but yeah.
I've never wanted to visit Romania, Rathammer. I got to be honest with you. Any part of it. No offense to any Romanians out there, but I've just never really. That's never been on my bucket list.
The big contingency of Romanian watchers we have.
I'm sure it's a lovely country, though.
All right, Garrett. So, what would your
number?
Yeah,
7. I'll do this. Texas 3, Leatherface. I'll probably put in there. I mean, I think what it is, I don't hate it. I just think it's just, for me, it's forgettable. Like, I don't remember a lot about this one besides him fighting Ken Faree or whatever. Like, there's not a lot that really stands out to me about this one, but it also has been quite a while since I've gone back and watched this. And as you can see, I only have this edition. I don't have a Blu-ray or anything of it. But do I think that it could maybe get a little more love around the table if this got a new release and some different cuts and some documentaries? Maybe. I mean, maybe. I don't think it's complete trash like the ones that I put, before this. But I had to put it on there. Texas Chainsaw 3. I think it, like you said, it does have. I wanted the movie we saw in the trailer. That's what I wanted to see with this one.
It is weird because that's a movie that I go back to a lot thinking it's going to be better than it is. Like every time I watch it, I'm like, okay, like, just because there's a nostalgia factor to it. Like I keep thinking it's just going to be a better movie, but it really is kind of, I mean, it's the most traditional. It's the most trying to be like the original, like of that era, especially, but it just kind of fails it's kind of boring. Like that's ultimately the biggest problem I have with it.
Wasn't the plan though for that? Because New Line was the ones that did it, and they were kind of giving the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise a rest, or that was the plan. And they were going to try to utilize the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. And it looks like like more of a slickly produced, higher budget movie. And I guess they were putting a little bit more money into it, hoping it would be, another big franchise that they could bank off of, but it didn't really work out.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah.
And Jeff Burr, great guy, R.I.P. Jeff Burr. But man, like I don't know if he was the right choice to make this sort of movie.
Well, it's like people have been saying. I mean, this is not really a movie that you really should have made a franchise out of. It's just not. It's very difficult to make like that movie again or a sequel.
Because people don't realize that a lot of it has to do with the family. And if you can't get everybody involved, it's hard to really do this, I think. And what made the first one so special, and we can even kind of go with part 2, is some of those members of those family. That was so huge. Once you replace all those members and try to redo it with either other people playing those same people or brand new family members, I just don't feel like it fits. That's like, when you try to take Demolition and make it Smash and Crush, it never felt like Axe and Smash, right? It just never did.
That's a great analogy. Yeah. No, it never really did. You're right.
And like, when you placed Shawn Michaels with Leif Cassidy, it never felt the same, right? Like that's kind of what I feel like with Texas Chainsaw is it's not Leatherface. The problem with me is it's the family around him that throws it off, because the family in the first one was so strong that Leatherface was the guy, but he didn't feel like he was Jason, right? He felt like he was just a member of a family, and they all were as threatening as he was.
He wasn't. He wasn't the icon in that one. Like he wasn't even the main kind of star of that movie, of the first one. Like I would argue that probably the cook was in the damn thing more than anybody in the first one.
Well, what's weird is I'd rewatched Leatherface earlier today, actually at work. Leatherface is not really even in that movie that much either. Like that's so strange, because you would think like, hey, here's the focus. This is Leatherface. He's all over the poster, right? But yeah, I mean, he's not really in this movie much either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although isn't part 3 the one that has the little girl that's like, yakety yak, don't talk back.
Yeah.
And she's got like the little doll. Yeah.
She stabs Kate Hodge with a bone or something like that.
You gotta love that. I mean,
Kate Hodge was not very good in this movie either.
No. Ken Foree being in it he's not very good. Nobody's very good in this movie.
Bill Butler, man. How many different franchises is that dude being in?
Well, he's in Friday 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Was
Night
he
of Living Dead?
He was Night of Living Dead. He wasn't in Nightmare on Elm Street. Was he in a Halloween movie?
I don't think he was in a Halloween movie, but it seems like he was around that time period. He was like in.
He was in everything. Yeah.
So whose turn is it, Uncle Bill?
Yeah. What are we on? What number
6?
All right. So my number 6 is the beginning.
Wait. Was it? Did you do 7?
I did 7 because my 7 was the remake. So already. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So my 6 is the beginning.
What do you know? That's my 6 as well.
I mean,
hey, that's my 6 too. No,
is it really?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not.
All right. So Here's a couple of things that I wrote down just when I was watching that again today. Unfortunately,
Oh God, you rewatched it.
I did today. Yeah, I put that baby LOL.
Oh
It's
God.
born in the beginning of that movie.
What
I
is it
put-
with like the chainsaw movies
Hey.
and fucking babies? Like,
Yeah,
what? I mean, are people terrified of fucking infants? Like,
You
after,
didn't like the
like it's like a
you didn't
Larry
like that they
Cohen
showed
film.
him working in the slaughterhouse.
That's the
He
dumbest
got,
shit
he got
ever.
fired
and
by
he's like,
from his
yeah,
job with him.
they go in on his killing spree because they fired.
yeah, he's like Michael Douglas from Falling Down in that movie. He's like, God, I
Yeah,
lost my
one.
job.
You don't remember Hitchhiker said my brother used to work at the slaughterhouse. Remember? So like they were
Yeah,
showing
they let
you.
him go. Yeah,
what-
they were giving
Yeah.
you the origin story. That's hence the
Yeah.
beginning.
I mean, you can see
Also,
Leatherface's mom's water breaking. I mean, they took you all the way back.
That
there.
actually happens. Yeah. Also,
Oh,
another
man.
funny
'Cause
part.
we
I was
all wanted to
watching
see
it.
that.
I was watching. I was like, "What the fuck does that remind me of?" And I was like, "He's wearing the Sultan mask. He's got the Sultan used to wrestle in."
Iron Sheik's gonna come out there with him.
Man, that's the most ridiculous looking like little thing he's got on.
Oh my
That little
God.
half mask that he wears in this one.
I'll tell you this, though,
everything about
man.
that movie.
Jordana Brewster is fucking fantastic to look at throughout the movie. That's
Yeah,
about the
but
only
she's
good
not.
thing.
She's no Jessica Biel. I mean, she's just not.
No,
I
she's
don't
not.
know, man. I don't know.
Nah.
Nah.
There's only one other female in this franchise that I think can hold the candle to Beale, and I don't think she's even better than Beale, to be honest.
You talking about the one with the magic button?
Yes.
Magic button.
But yeah, I mean, I had Texas Chainsaw the beginning, which was one of the very, very early on the road episodes that we did, and I remember me and Uncle Bill watching this, and my expectations were not very high because, like I said, I'd hated the shit out of that, the remake. I think it is slightly better than the remake, but it's still fucking terrible.
There's that whole stupid ass like subplot where Arlie Army's like, we ain't never gonna starve again as a family. And like, after they fire Leatherface, I guess he was like the sole breadwinner and they never thought about getting on welfare. So they just start eating people. And like, there's
Did welfare exist back then?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, what we're talking about. Like what time frame is this?
60s?
60s? Yeah, definitely. But
I
like
think welfare came out when like the sewing machine did around that time.
around that same time, yeah.
Well, you didn't see Leatherface sew anything. with
Well, he
a
didn't
sewing machine.
listen. They're a proud family, and they decided, we're never going to be one of them families that's on welfare. We're going to eat.
But
people.
they needed Leatherface to work because like he used the sledge. That was the good way.
Yep,
Not that new way with the gun. That doesn't
But-
work. They die better with the sledge.
it's better that way.
So
One
I
thing
can't
that's
see that.
surprising though is like there haven't been any new home video editions of either one of those, the remake or the prequel to the remake.
it was a
Wonder what-
Blu-ray that they each had, but it was just a very kind of standard, bare bones.
He had to sew that mask somehow. Yeah, but I mean, like, do we need to see it? We need to see like
It
the.
just seemed like
We need to see everything that happens from like.
I'm making a mask. God damn it!
I mean, did you just assume that he was just doing this, right? Not that he had like.
I
the
didn't think he
machine.
had a sewing machine. I really would not envision that.
Yeah, I mean that's
no.
a more manly way of sewing than just doing it by hand.
He's like got the foot pump going. He's like,
He's got the fucking Singer sewing machine there.
He's
pedaling away.
crocheting shit into it, like beads. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, the prequel's real. The beginning, I'm sorry, is real bad.
Yeah,
Just for the-
nobody cared. I don't think that one did very well either. Right, the 03 movie made a shit ton of money, but I
Yeah,
don't
the
think that
03
prequel-
it was a huge hit. I think that when did that one come out? 06?
Yeah.
The begin. Yeah, I don't think it did nearly as well, but it did do fairly good. I mean, it made money.
I
And
didn't
we've
realize
never.
I was 2 years old. The little kid was the boy from The Ring. I didn't realize that.
Oh shit, it was. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
The kid was like Mr. Horror back in the
Holy Lord.
Little bucktooth boy.
Yep.
He's
Bucktooth
at a
Hannah.
convention. The Ring
look,
boy.
Look at the whole family again there. Boy.
Yeah, there they are.
You
Look at
seen
you.
my boy John anywhere?
Look at
The
that
fucking
thing.
like the nubby is what I call it. The guy with no legs, right, with a lap dog.
Yeah.
Like
You remember
Where
that
did that
scene where
come
he's dumping his catheter into the toilet and he gets Jessica Biel to come help him. He's like, let me touch your
That's-
titties. here real
That's frightening as hell. Boys. I won't touch no catheter.
quick." That's the scariest part of that movie is his catheter bag.
Oh my god.
Oh,
All right, so I guess we're number 5, Garrett. Or
Uh,
no, you're number 6.
my number 6
We
has
didn't do
got to
your number
be.
six.
we
New
both
Gen.
had
New Gen. I don't mind it. I think it's fun. I think it's a terrible movie, but I find fun in it. I'll still never get over watching it for the first time with my friend Keith. And, I had high expectations for this because it was like that, late 90s. It was late 90s, right? I'm trying to think. On mid 90s, 94. I can remember like the hype for it at the video store. They had a lot of standees and stuff. And that one scene where he's like, McConaughey just like killed this guy's friend or whatever. And then he's running away from McConaughey. McConaughey's in the truck. McConaughey pulls up beside him and the kid stops. He's breathing heavy. And he's like, "Stop it, mister. You're scaring me." It's like the most monotone voice ever. And I can remember my friend being like, "What the fuck? That guy just killed his friend." And he's like, "Stop it, mister. You're scaring me."
Garrett, did you notice the Deborah McMichael cameo in Texas Chainsaw
No.
Massacre 4? Yeah, she's one of the very brief scene. She is one of the police officers. Like, I think she's just sitting in a car or something, right? It's like a one scene. But yeah, that I've seen this
one
movie.
thing I'll give this is I think McConaughey, it's a kind of a stupid character, but it kind of works in a weird, like, let's make this the same but different. Like, they actually had balls in this one and tried to make a whole different kind of Texas Chainsaw situation, and I think I can respect that than trying to just rehash what they did in the 70s or whatever. And so I can respect that, but I just think as a movie as a whole, when I look at the rest of them on my list, I feel like it's just kind of the most clunky of a movie.
You got to admit, though, Gary, it's way ahead of its time. I mean, they were dealing with social issues that we're only now covering back then,
It's true.
True. I guess
that's my number 5. I had it as my number 5. Like, this was a movie that it seems like they played it on cable a fucking ton back in the day. But it's got a weird history because it was originally released as Return of Texas Chainsaw Massacre in like some theaters, very few theaters, and I think overseas. And then which movie was it that Renee Zellweger did around this time that she became pretty much a household name?
Dazed and Confused.
No.
Was it Jerry Maguire?
It may have been Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, it was Jerry Maguire. You're right.
And then there was a lawsuit about them using, like, there was that cover that you had, and there was another cover that has
With her face on it.
Yeah, McConaughey and Zellweger's face on the front of it, and it has their names and everything. And like that was the one that was all over Walmart 588 bin or something like that. And they got in trouble for that. Like, I think that they were both kind of pissed that they tried to use, but I mean, why? They're in it. They're the,
Let me tell you something. I would much rather watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4 than Jerry Maguire again. I know that for a fact.
Show me the money.
You can go in any Goodwill store in the United States and pick up a VHS of Jerry Maguire.
Is Slippy going to be doing that tomorrow? He's going to be Jerry Maguire and all over.
Jerry Maguire limited edition VHS.
Show me the money. Show me. Yeah. He's like jumping.
Oh, yeah.
He's talking to Don May. Show me the money. Yeah. Oh God, that's what we need to do. We need to make a video of, like, take that scene and put their faces over top of the two characters for tomorrow. That'd be killer.
I could do that for sure.
Yeah,
I could easily do it. Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, that's up higher on my list, so I'm not gonna get into that one right now. But like, I agree that like a lot of it's kind of like part 3, but a wilder version of part 3. Like, they took all the same beats, except there's that really stupid mob kind of connection subplot in it that I just never understood why that was in there, like, at all. But like, other than that, it's basically just like a upscaled version, crazier version of part 3 in the way that the family is.
I agree. Now, was that everybody's number?
That was my number 5 as well. Yeah.
No, that's not mine.
No, that was your number 6.
Oh, that was my
But
number 6. Okay, yeah.
That one's my number 5, so we've already talked about it. So, what's your number 5? Gary?
Wait,
What was your number 5, UB?
I get confused about where the fuck we are. My number 5 is 3D. I think that is a much better movie, even though the only thing anybody ever like goes on about that movie is like, do your thing, cuz, and all that, which I get. That's stupid. And there's a lot of stupid stuff about the timelines in that movie. Trust me. I understand that. It doesn't make any sense. Like, it jumps around like you could drive a truck through the plot holes in the movie. I get it. But it's like at least fun. And at least it tries to be like, you know, entertaining, and has a lot of the Texas Chainsaw like elements to it as well, you know, with the especially the Leatherface character, the family part of it, the reveal about her being the cousin and all that shit. Whatever.
I mean, it was kind of like if you watch the beginning of it, because the way that they edited it together is really cool too. Like, they edited the original movie together and kind of tried to add like some family members on there and make up a way to, you know, have it continue on or whatever. It's the new movie. But Texas Chainsaw 3D or whatever, I guess it's just Texas Chainsaw. It's fun. Like, it's stupid. It's, at least it's entertaining, right? Yep. And that's what I've always said. Like, of all of the more recent Texas Chainsaw movies, in my opinion, that one's the best.
I think it's the best, like, of the recent, like, popcorn kind of like Texas Chainsaw ones. They're trying to make like a more mainstream because, I mean, let's be honest. One of the reasons why it's so hard to franchise Texas Chainsaw is because the subject matter itself is basically just like really long scenes of torture and like crazy characters that don't really make any sense. Like, so it's hard to make that into a fun popcorn kind of movie, but I think that they did the best they could with this version of the movie. That's why I like that one.
I think if you took out the element of it being a little bit more modern with the use of cell phones, and you tried to keep it according to the timeline it should have been, I think that really fixes this movie a lot. And when you think about the scenes that had cell phones in it, there was really no reason that they should have ever did that. Like, It was a cop using the phone as a flashlight. Like, just use a fucking flashlight. You know what I mean? Like, there was scenes where you're like, there was no need for this. Why did they do this and really screw up and confuse this movie's timeline? And then they had to go back and like edit out dates on the tombstones because the dates were right originally. And then they had to like edit them out to like match some of the stuff that they used in the movie to make it more current. Like, I think that's what really throws this movie off for me. I didn't like the do your thing cuz line. I think that was kind of silly, but I think, like you said, the one thing about this is that the opening is cool. It really feels throwback. It really feels like it could have been maybe right after that first one. And it's a fun chainsaw movie. You know, it didn't try to take itself too serious, but serious enough. Had some fun kills. I don't know why. It always is kind of weird to me that Leatherface had like a red button-down shirt on or whatever he was wearing.
That was a very odd choice of like, his costume.
I like red. I like to have my shirt look like it's full of blood.
But I mean,
he kind of saves the day. They turn him babyface.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, there was like a big turn at the end.
He's got a hot tag at the end. Yeah,
I'll tell you this
you knew he was turning babyface because he had the different gear on, right? Like, he didn't have the smock anymore. He was like a red button down, so you knew he was gonna turn face.
The actress Alexandra Daddario,
so good,
dude.
Yeah, she's nice to look at.
Yeah, of her era, that's another one too.
I just hated that fucking button.
Someone should have cut that little button.
Magic button.
Out of this button.
Thread was too strong on that shit.
Hanging on for life.
Oh my god.
So that was that your number 5?
Yeah, that's my number 5.
Okay.
So where are we at now then with who goes next? Because I got no idea.
Well, I already said my 5.
I'm at number 5.
Okay.
The beginning.
Oh, it's got the slip too.
It's got that embossed slip feel.
I
I always
mean,
wonder if like movies around that time, look them up with the slip on eBay and see if they're worth more.
Because it had a slip
Slip-
when no one cared about slips.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, slips have been
When
around
people
for
were
a long
throwing
time.
slips away. Yeah, I'm gonna throw the beginning in. I like the beginning. I think, you know, when I saw the thing with the two remakes that people obviously they're not fans of, but they just felt gritty to me. They felt gross. They felt gritty. You watched it, I felt hot, like the way it was filmed. Like it's just there's something about it that, in my opinion, like I don't know, it works for me. I feel like it just feels kind of raw and gritty of a movie, which a lot of remakes I don't think can get that feel. It felt like I was in Texas, like watching this damn thing. And you know what I liked about this one is when I really liked the remake when it came out, and when this one came out as like it was one of the first times I was really aware of like a prequel, right? Like we didn't see that a lot back then. Was like a movie that came out as a sequel, but it was like, oh no, this is going to take place before. Like it wasn't as common when this came out. Then it started a trend of a lot of things doing that. But it was interesting to kind of see the story because then you started to learn like how this person became this, how this person became this. How did that guy, you know, he wasn't a real sheriff, but how did he get that uniform? And they kind of put all those pieces together in this one, which I always thought was kind of cool. How did that dude lose his legs? Like they kind of go through that here. So it is kind of fun to match those movies up. And it was an interesting thing because like I said, for me, I wasn't used to the prequel thing. So to kind of see a lot of these stories being told on why these were going on, I always kind of appreciated. I just didn't like the main cast in this one. Like I didn't like the group of kids as much as I did on the 2003.
I tell you, the one I did like though was Diarra Bard. God Almighty,
Was she in a Friday the 13th movie too?
she was in. Only thing I remember her in is Wedding Crashers,
I think she was in another horror movie though, of some
and
sort.
she was in another horror movie. But
Somebody in the chat let us know. My number 4,
Night of the Demons remake.
Night of the Demons.
They're only looking for your life.
Number 4, and we talked about this movie already. It's Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Like this was 1990, weird time for horror movies, really. I think this thing did better on home video because that's where I mainly remember seeing it. Like great. I think they had a great promotion for it. Like we played the trailer, the teaser trailer at the beginning. But yeah, I mean, I just think it was one of those deals where it didn't really feel like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I think they filmed most of it in California. It didn't look like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie either. And unfortunately, it didn't work. Yeah, but I've got some nostalgia for a few things in it. I think the Leatherface in it is R.A. Milloff does a great job as Leatherface. Unfortunately, he's not in it enough. I love the Saw's Family, the giant chainsaw thing. That really, like, that's something almost out of fucking WWF back in the day or something.
Right.
Like they would bring out like,
Chrome chainsaw. It was so shiny
Yep.
with the
Yeah.
embossed.
some showmanship there. And like I think Garrett mentioned earlier, like the family in this is not terrible. Like you had, what was the actor's name? He's sort of a big deal now.
Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen
Yeah.
was in this, and they had the grandpa in this one too. Do you guys remember? I think the grandpa was dead in this one. They were still trying to feed him.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
the granny in it, and the little girl.
it tries, but there's something about that movie that's just so hollow to me. I don't know what it is. Like it's got all the same beats. It tries to mimic a lot of what happened in the first movie. It's just, it's not a good movie, man.
I think they have a lot of extra characters that they didn't need as well. Like just weird, like Ken Foree's character, really. I mean, what was the point of, I mean, I never did really understand that. And there was
he was a survivalist. He was like he ain't gonna give up. He's gonna survive.
yeah.
He's a survivor.
I will say this though, like out of a lot of the movies that I've went back and rewatched over the years, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 is aged pretty bad. One of the worst. But I don't know. I still have some nostalgia for it, I guess. But that
Well,
was
when
my number
Slippy
4.
releases this from Red Shirt with 4 cuts, I think people are going to probably really, come around on it. That's going to be the nice big box.
Yeah, yeah. They probably
it's gonna be-
would actually.
I'll guarantee it.
What's funny about that is like it'd be one of those Halloween 6 kind of deals where none of those cuts are make the movie any better, but people just be marking out about it.
And I think they wanted to secretly do Leatherface versus like Peter from Dawn. I think that was kind of they're like, let's do this little thing real quick.
Yep.
What happened if Peter met Leatherface? I think
If
that's
he-
what they're trying to go for.
That's right. The
They should have
crossover
played
going.
the song at the end of Dawn, like when he's like doing the karate kicks, like when he's trying to get on the helicopter.
He did this one the same year as what was the fucking the Killer Jim movie that he did? Death Spa, wasn't it the same?
I
film?
love Death Spa. Love it.
That one is pretty fun.
It is
It's
great.
cool.
So what is that? Your number 4?
That was my number 4. Yes, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
All right, number 4.
Okay, I didn't expect that.
Okay, I'm just
Did
glad
not
it wasn't like
expect it.
number 2.
Yeah.
No, I like this one. I mean, if anybody checked this out, this is one of the coolest DVDs ever made. If you don't have this one, this was a huge addition when this came out. This was like something we didn't see a lot back in the day.
There's like a big metal plate for it too, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, it's got the metal plate. It's got a fold out chainsaw with all these discs on it. It's a beautiful set. Yeah, I don't have any issues with this. I mean, again, the family's not great. But it feels, like I said, it feels dirty. I don't know. I never had an issue with it. I don't think he's a good Leatherface, but I think it did its job. I don't know what else you could do at that point in time in 2003 to make a remake of something like Texas Chainsaw. So I felt fine with it.
I would be interested in like your opinion on it though after you rewatch it again, if it holds up for you.
I know
You
I
said
haven't.
it'd been a
I
while.
should probably watch these two soon. I haven't watched them in actually a
He
while.
thinks
so.
you're gonna hate it. That's basically what I'm trying to tell you.
I'll rewatch it and
trying
check
to
it
tell you,
out. I
man.
mean,
I've
my taste has changed throughout the years, so maybe.
I've never liked it, but even for that time period though, it has aged pretty poorly, I think. I mean, there people like the gory scenes in it, like he cuts the dude's leg off, and they've got some gruesome shit in it. I guess people like it for
Terrifier.
that. But
It's got that Terrifier shit in there.
That's what that Terrifier vibe, y'all.
It's got the
I'm trying to get everybody to hate 03 Texas Chainsaw.
He really
right.
Like,
hates that movie.
If you like Terrifier, you'll love Texas Chainsaw 03.
No, you won't.
I just think like it entirely, like that movie entirely missed the point of the original movie. In my opinion, like the original movie looked real. It looked like a group of kids, just everyday people out in the road or whatever. It didn't have that slickly produced.
But at the
Hollywood
same
look.
time, I don't think any of these movies was able to give us that feel. I think the closest movie that I can recall off the top of my head that gave us a feel of maybe that realness of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is X. And to me, like that's the closest that I feel I've seen in a long time of something really feeling like it could have been in that world. None of these. I wouldn't even say the sequel at all doesn't. So it's hard. I think it's hard to do that again.
It definitely is because none of them did it like correctly, really, or they weren't able to achieve that vibe at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll talk more about the original here in a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I think part of it is that's one of the best horror movies that's ever been made, and that's why nobody's ever been able to really replicate it. Like, I mean, there's a reason it's the greatest.
So let's see. This is number 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My number 4 is we already talked about, which is TCM 3. So, yep,
Okay, we shared that one then.
we did share that one, and I have a feeling we might share the rest of these. So we'll see.
Okay, so who is Garrett's turn? Your number.
I can do my number. My number 3 is gonna. We've already talked about it. It's
Yeah.
gonna be old red shirt picture over here.
Oh, Richard,
That's my number 3 as well.
I don't mind that movie, man. I don't know why.
I think it's a decent movie. Like I said, I think what fucks it up is the timeline. I think that's the only thing going against it. And the stupid line there, which everybody kind of laughed at. I don't know if it was supposed to be like a funny thing or if they were taking it serious. I don't know, but
I think
if this timeline was cleaned up, it would actually be a pretty solid one.
I actually think it was meant to be like a tongue-in-cheek sort of goofy thing they threw in there. I hope, at least. You wouldn't think something like that'd be serious, but
yeah. There's something just that I love. Like that's a movie that like I could put on pretty much at any time and rewatch it. And I can't say that about any of the other like newer versions of Texas Chainsaw.
Well, I'll tell you, when I watched it for the first time, it was about a year after it came out because everybody had been talking about how fucking terrible it is.
Yeah.
And warning me about it and everything. And it took me forever to watch it. And then I watched it and I was like, shit, this is like the best one that they've done in years. I had fun with it at least. It kept me entertained throughout. Yeah. Kept me entertained throughout the whole movie. And like you said, the timeline is fucked up on it. I don't know what they were really thinking there. Maybe we'll have to listen to the commentary. They'll talk about it, but there's got to be some sort of story behind that.
Trying to see if there's some documentaries on here. There's a featurette, yeah.
But yeah, I like the movie. Like I said, it's my number 3 as well. So it's kind of an oddity in the franchise, I think. The dude that played Leatherface in it did a really good job, I think.
Yeah, what was his name again? Yeah. I have his auto. No.
He doesn't do a whole lot of conventions, does he?
I met him. I actually have a picture signed by him and Gunner, and they're both on it. It was like some kind of a convention exclusive that I went to.
Cream McQueen. What is his name?
What his name was.
Also, I don't think we mentioned this, but Gunnar Hansen and Marilyn Burns both have cameos in this, and this was like shortly before Marilyn Burns passed away, I think.
Yep.
So she was in that, and but yeah. All right, so we're on to what's your number 3, Uncle Bill?
You ain't gonna believe this, but I'm sure. But my number 3 is part 4.
Woo!
I just think
crush on Zellweger, do you?
I just think that there wasn't another movie that came as close to getting as fucking batshit crazy as the first one in that dinner sequence than there was this one. And while I agree that fucking there's a lot of really bad spots in this movie, to me, it's more entertaining than part 3 to watch. It's more entertaining than any of the newer ones to watch. It's not a good film, but it may be the craziest film, and it may be the one that at least attempted to do something that was like so far out there that it could never really be mainstream. So I guess for that reason, I like it.
Uncle Bill, you're scaring me.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that movie, but yeah, it is very, I agree with you. It's very odd.
Yeah, I don't hate it either. It's just a wild, wacky mess.
The Leatherface in it is, I mean, out there for sure. Mm-hmm. But there's one of those.
The scene at the dinner table with that Leatherface where Renee Zellweger's like, shut up! Shut the fuck up! And all that stuff. And like, oh God.
What's the story with that? Didn't that guy pass away shortly after that movie was made?
He did.
Or something like that?
I don't remember what the story was with him passing away. He was young though.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
And then there was the deal with the mafia guys and the limo. That whole thing, whatever that is.
Yeah, I mean, that part I didn't like. I didn't like any of that really, and didn't really understand why that needed to be in there. But like all of the other stuff with McConaughey and Zellweger, of course it's good because they're like really good actors, just nobody knew it at that time. But just really the whole family thing. And I didn't mind the Leatherface in it. A lot of people hate that aspect of it too. But like I thought that's kind of what that's supposed to be. It's just crazy, out there gimmick. I mean,
Well,
that's what Leatherface is kind of supposed to be.
Well, this was what 94, 95 when they made this, and at this point in time, like people had forgot the original Leatherface had the old lady mask in the
Yeah.
original Chainsaw movie, so they was just kind of taking that same idea and just going fucking bonkers with it.
Now, wasn't this filmed in 94, but it didn't see release for a couple of years after that, right? Isn't that kind of the whole thing behind it? It was sat on the shelf for a while.
Yeah, I think it was like 97 or 90.
96, 97. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it came out on VHS first, and then I don't know what the date. I think the date on the DVD is like 98, 99, something like that. So, but yeah, like McConaughey had done Dazed and Confused before, right? Or that? I'm not sure.
He had to have, I'm thinking.
Yeah, because that was like 93. You'd think maybe he filmed that first, but it wasn't out or something.
Could have been.
But, all right. So are we on to number 2?
2. I'm sure we all probably pretty close on this one.
Yeah, I think the rest of these are going to be pretty much the same. So before we get into that, though, we have 185 people watching. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. And Michael Felcher was on earlier on the show. So after we're streaming live, you can rewind it and hear what he said and see what he showed.
I wish I'd have gone up to him, man. I should have gone up to him. I saw Cody again, Garrett, at Scarefest. I should have gone up to him.
Cody LL.
Cody.
God damn it.
Yep.
My favorite most Freddy's dead.
I see him there almost every year, but
you don't go up to many people, do you? You just kind of put your head down and just walk.
Yeah, well, you can't fucking really help but do it at that show because like you get run over if you don't.
I get the feeling that like shows that we go to are way different than the ones that Garrett goes to. Like a lot of the ones that you go to is still in a hotel, right? Like hotel.
The one I'm going to Saturdays in a hotel, yeah.
The ones here in these big fucking convention centers.
We have those too. But you know what? I was talking to some people and it seems like Scarefest is becoming one of the biggest horror conventions in the US now. So
it is, Garrett, so you need to get your candy ass down here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I actually wouldn't mind maybe next year to plan it for me to come down there and make it an event, but then it's going to require you guys. How far is it from where you live?
About 2 hours.
Yeah, a couple.
So it'd be somewhere that we'd have to probably hotel up or something, right? And hang out there.
Well,
for
that's actually
days.
one thing that.
Well, what you can do is Airbnb is probably the best way to go if you're going to have multiple.
Here he goes to Airbnb.
But I'm saying, you guys murdered. If I do that, you're going to have to make time to like come out there and hang out and not be, I'll see you for like 10 minutes. But it seems like a lot of people congregate there, like that could get there.
Yeah. Well, next year, like Savannah was talking about this with me after we got back from that. Next year, we are going to rent a hotel down there. We were going to do that anyway because like it's too difficult to drive down there and then go through all that shit and waiting and all that lines and stuff and then just drive back immediately. So we were going to do that.
Well, what's nice having a hotel too is you can come and go throughout the day. Like, hey, let's go get lunch. Let's run to the store down here. Let's go do this, and we'll come back.
Not
in.
If you're going back to the convention, you have to pay another $27.
No.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, there's a parking fee. Damn.
$27. Yeah, each time.
Damn.
There's $10 little like side parking lots though that people do. You have to walk a little bit.
Yeah, it's just a big clusterfuck. It's in downtown Lexington. It's part of Rupp Arena.
But if you had a fucking hotel, you wouldn't have to do that. You just park in the fucking hotel, like beside the convention.
Are you talking about the convention hotel?
Well, I mean, there's that hotel. There's also like another one like right there too.
Maybe we'll do a big meetup and people will come down and we can do dinner and hang out at the convention and leave and then go back and go to a movie. I don't fucking care. But I think it's like for a flight, I think it would take me about 4 hours. I think to get there. Maybe not even, but if I have to do a changeover and stuff.
Yeah.
Here's what I think we should do. If that doesn't happen for whatever reason, I think we should all do the Living Dead weekend thing. That would probably be closer to you, Garrett.
Yeah, it's in Pittsburgh.
Where's that now?
Have you ever been to Pittsburgh, Garrett?
No, I've been to Philly.
Oh, dude,
not Pittsburgh.
you would love.
I'd probably
that.
that'd be a 6-hour drive for me. I could get to Philly on a plane in 40 minutes, 45 minutes. So
I think Pittsburgh's a ways from Philadelphia, though, isn't it?
is it?
I think so. Somebody in the chat will help us. But yeah, I mean, no, we need to do something like that at some point. I like the Living Dead weekend because it was just like an old school scaled down show. And it's really I think the conventions here are more for like Walking Dead type fans. It seems like to me.
It's
what do
just
you think?
it's a huge show.
Like
man.
cosplayers and stuff like that.
They've got like so many, and it just depends on what you want to do, really. Like, I mean, they had, I don't remember how many guests, 60 or 70, something crazy like that. Like, so I mean, and it had so many reunions that like it had to appeal to just about everybody. If you wanted if you want to get Phantasm, you get Phantasm. If you want Scream, you get Scream. If you wanted Hellraiser, you got Hellraiser. It's like there were so many Fright Night. There were so many different reunions at that show. So
Holy shit. Pittsburgh's 5 hours from Philly. Holy mac.
damn, well,
That's wild. See, when you live in the smallest state, everything I am so bad with like how far shit is.
Yeah, I thought it was a ways away because I think Philadelphia's like in northern Pennsylvania.
Garrett drives through his
It is.
state in like 20 minutes. He's like,
40 minutes to get through, yeah.
Yeah.
anyway,
So-
number 2, I think we all know.
Number two. Yeah, because it's in
Number 2?
chronological order from here on out, I
It's gotta
believe.
be.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And this was part of a 3-picture deal that Toby Hooper struck up with Canon Pictures, right? Can you name the
Yeah.
other 2 movies?
Invaders from Mars was one of them.
And Life
Life
Force,
Force?
I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
Life Force. And yeah.
Here's my thing about this movie. He did the smartest thing he could do that nobody else has done really since then, which is that he knew he couldn't remake that movie. And so he was just like, fuck it, let's make it like a comedy. Because what else could you do? Like, how many other movies? We just talked about like 7 other movies that tried to remake pretty much a straight Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, and they've all failed to some degree or another. So it's like he did the only thing I think you could do that made sense.
I think another thing that he had said in an interview too is there's comedic elements in the first movie, but in the 70s and early 80s, nobody got it. Like nobody realized that was some, dark comedy thrown in there. So I think that he just made this one extra off the wall. And the thing that a lot of people don't really remember though, when this movie came out, it was very much like Halloween 3 or Friday the 13th 5 or whatever. Like the audiences didn't like it at first. Like it got pretty much negative reviews and all panned and everything.
Yeah.
But over the years, like it's definitely become probably the most popular of all of the sequels, undoubtedly.
I think it's
Oh,
Bill
yeah.
Moseley. Well, it's Jim Seidel and Bill Moseley really that make this film. And like it's infinitely got like so many quotes that throughout it because of those 2 guys that it's great. It had a fairly good cast too, if you think about it. Like Carolyn Williams was good, Lou Perryman was good, all the main family were good. Like it's just
Jim Seedow's great
yeah.
in it. And the make effects are pretty amazing too. Like when they scan LG in it, like that really freaked me out when I was a kid. Like that looked fucking disturbing. Sure.
Yeah, that was really good makeup effect by Savini.
Tom Savini, I think, did this one, didn't he? Tom
Yep.
Savini did this one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
definitely a good one. It's pretty well loved, I think, more or less as a sequel, surprisingly.
And I like the look of Leatherface in this one too. Like he looks definitely looks different than the first movie. I think they almost give him more of a, I don't know, like an animated comic book type look or something. I don't know how to explain it, but I really like the look of the mask, and I thought Bill Johnson did a pretty killer job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agree.
And
What's number 1, guys?
I don't know. Can't imagine.
yeah,
Can you play the music?
That leads us to, I forgot. Did they play that sound at all in the second movie?
Second
I
one?
think they did.
I don't
No.
know.
So
The
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
yeah, there's
The
some
film
use
in what you're
in this
about
film.
to see.
I don't
Yeah, I don't-
really like. What the hell you gonna say about this movie, man? Like, I don't really want. I mean, it's an all-time classic. There's nothing else to say about it.
I agree.
You know, I would have changed my audio though when I get emails at work to that sound.
That'd be so killer, dude. You should. Every time you get a text message on your phone.
I think you'd lose your mind after about the first day, though.
So one of the most fond memories that I'll ever have when I think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like my dad, when he was younger, he would always, every weekend, go and pick out a couple of VHS tapes to rent as like a little theme, right? He would get, like, I think it was Texas Chainsaw 2 had recently came out on video, and he was like, oh, I want to watch the first one. He'd never seen the first one. And he made it through up to the hitchhiker scene and all that shit that went down with the hitchhiker. He turned it off and he's like, I'm not watching any more of this. I'm not watching the second movie either, you know? So when I was 7, 8 years old, like I was like, oh shit, that must be like, I didn't really understand it. Like I was too young, I guess. But, that's like one of the first things that I always think of when I think of that first movie.
That's funny you say that because I almost have a very similar story to that. My uncle always used to talk to me about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre being like one of the best horror movies. And I was a little kid, but I just remember that name, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It just sounded wild to me as like a little kid. And I can remember I was at my grandmother's house. My uncle was living there at the time. He's younger than my father. My dad was out. I don't know what he was doing, but he was watching me and he's like, you want to watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre? And I was like, yeah. And like, I was real little, like maybe like 5. And I remember him popping it in and I saw all the way until the hitchhiker. Like I saw that whole beginning, him, you know, him taking a piss and rolling down the hill, you know, in the wheelchair and
Pissing in a coffee
And I
pot.
can remember one of the last things I remember them saying
Coffee-
is we just picked
coffee
up
can.
Dracula. Like I
Yeah.
remember like we just picked up Dracula. And then my dad came in. My dad's like, shut this off. You know, he was all upset. So we took it off and like that's as far as I got for a long time. And he never brought it up again. So I knew the name, but then I always in my head was like thinking to myself, like, oh my God, I gotta find that movie where these kids picked up Dracula in the back. Like that's as a 5-year-old, like I thought that was like Dracula, like in the back of their car. And then until I was a little bit older and finally saw it again, you know, I kind of figured it all out. But that was always a fun story for me as a kid because I was always like, oh, Uncle Mark, remember like that Texas Chainsaw movie where like Dracula was in the van or whatever. And finally I saw it. So that was always a fun story for me. And then when I got older in my like early 20s, it was such a favorite of mine that I used to think this was like a great first date movie. So like every time I would hang out,
Killer.
every time I'd go over like a girl's house or something like that, or vice
watch
versa, I
Texas
would like
Chainsaw
I would
Massacre,
bring
girl.
this like with me, like as part of the whole thing. What do you want to do? Just
Smooth
hang out? Like I
operator,
brought
man.
this. You got to check this out.
Gary's
can't
like
tell you
Patrick
how many-
Bateman. I need to watch
I
this.
I got
can't tell
necromantic
you how
next.
many
Yeah.
times I did that, and I thought it was like the greatest thing ever. And I'm thinking now that thinking back on, it, I'm like, they almost have thought I was a fucking psycho.
Oh, it's
But
killer.
it was like part of my like first date thing. It was like let's watch Texas Chainsaw. I don't know why.
We'll follow that with
Breaking in quick.
necromantic.
Yeah.
I think the first memory I have of this movie is I saw it when I was about 10 or 11 on VHS. I avoided it for years because I thought like it was going to be off, like just way too, you know, intense because everybody talked about it like it was like one of the most frightening movies of all time. And then the first time I watched it on VHS at that time period, I was really disappointed. Like I fucking hated it because I didn't think, you know, it wasn't gory. It wasn't, I just honestly thought it was boring at the time. And then later on, you know, you get a little bit older and you kind of like rewatch a lot of these movies and it becomes pretty clear like that it's a special movie. But you know what's weird? Because when you think about that movie, you think about all these different scenes, like the first time you meet Leatherface and he slams the door and everything and kills Kurt. Or you think about like the dinner sequence and all that shit, or you think about the chainsaw at the end. The scene that sticks out most in my mind now that I've watched the movie like a million times that I think I like the most is when the cook is just like driving that truck with Marilyn Burns in the sack, and he just keeps hitting her. And he's laughing, and then he's serious, and he's laughing. He's like, "You okay?" And then he's
It'll be all right.
Yeah, it'll be all right. He's like, as he's trying to put her in the bag and shit.
You know,
there is so many memorable scenes though that are freaking creepy. The door slam scene, like you said, that still is a shocking scene to me.
Oh yeah, and the sound that they add to it is the door slam.
And it's just that it was like there was no real like, you know, at that point, you know, you used to jump scares, and all of a sudden this thing just freaking opens, hits, shuts, and it was like, and then like that, dang, like something just happened. It was great. And the dinner scene, like I always still find it even still weird about the grandpa like sucking the fingers
finger,
and stuff, and he's kind of just like trying to hit her with the thing, and it's like,
he's a one hitter.
Yeah, yeah. Like, is he alive? Is he dead? What's this dude's story here? You know,
I always like the fact though that it takes place pretty much all over the span of that night, and when she finally escapes is when the sunrise and everything. And I used to, like, I was a night owl back in the day, like when I was younger and everything. And I always really just loved that aspect to it, and just how crazy the end of that freaking movie is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really doesn't have an ending. Like Leatherface is still there dancing around, you know. And, but this is the thing that I wanted to mention though. To me, when I think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, still, it's just this movie. Like, I don't really, that's the first movie is what I think of. Like, there are other ones that they made using the name, but because there's nothing, I don't think there's any other film that can compare even within the, I don't know, the same stratosphere as that original movie. I mean, I understand the success. They had to make a sequel. But
it on most people's lists, like even the big magazines like Variety and like those ones, the Hollywood Report, yeah, it's number one as like the best horror film of all time. I think that's accurate. Like I wouldn't argue that point. I think the first Texas Chainsaw is probably the best horror film ever made. Just in general, because it doesn't look like a film.
No,
nothing about it ever seems like you're actually watching a film. It's like you're there seeing that shit like unfold in front of you.
And Wes made a good point too that I really actually never thought heavily about until right now. Is it's just like, think about, like you said, when she finally gets out of that house, and it's probably like 6 a.m. because the sun's just starting to come up, right? Yep. To think like how long and what she was going through that night between the hours of whenever the hell she got there, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, like all that shit that was going on there was like, you know, just imagine being in that situation, thinking it's like, it was never going to end. And finally you get out and you realize, holy shit, I've been in there being basically tortured physically and mentally for the last, 7 hours or whatever. She finally gets out, and
there was morning an interview with Toby Hooper, who the poor fella had done some hard shit for decades, right? So he doesn't have that many good interviews, but there was a documentary that he did, I can't remember which one, where he said, in a nutshell, the inspiration for Texas Chainsaw Massacre is when you have a bad day, it's a bad day, right? And that's exactly like, I mean, it's a very, very, very bad day. But I mean, I think people can kind of relate with that when nothing is going right.
You mean for Leatherface? I mean, honest to God, like that's like, there's that scene where he's like, he just sits down, he's like banging his head because everybody keeps coming into the house.
Yeah, he's having.
Well, that's another aspect of the movie that works too. Is when you look at it from his point of view, it's like he's not what they've made him in these sequels. Like he's just this killer. He was just somebody that was trying to protect his property. To him, it's like, these people are breaking into my house. I don't know anybody, so I'm going to defend it. Like, I mean, you look at it from that, he wasn't all there, right? So he's seeing that these kids are just coming in the house, and he's like, what the hell's going on here? He started to feel like the victim. So that's why he kind of fought back. And it's an interesting concept because you don't really see that in any of the big characters. And so when he does have a face turn later down the road, you're kind of like, I could see that, right? Yeah. Like him having a face turn makes more sense than Jason having one in Freddy vs. Jason, right? Like, it makes more sense, as that.
It actually had like a meaning too. It's quite literally like the new intruding on the old. like the new kids intruding on the old, people's. That's a metaphor for the whole fucking thing. So like the new generation, the old generation.
Also wanted to mention Ed Neal in it too. Like,
Yeah, he's amazing.
You would never have ever thought that dude's an actor. Like that character. I've seen so many people that's similar to that around here. Like it's accurate, man. 100% accurate. And they went even further and made him like, I don't know if he didn't take a bath for a few days or what, but it was almost like you could smell him like when you saw him on screen. He looked so nasty. His hair was greasy and everything.
The sledge. I like when he calls Leatherface.
It's a
I like when he
picture.
calls Leatherface like it's his brother. Like that's his calls. Hey, Leatherface, let's go get Grandpa. Like that's what he calls him. He calls. Imagine if your brother called you
Yep.
Leatherface. So what the fuck? I always thought that was hilarious that he's called his brother Leatherface. So what is Hey, Leatherface?
Is that the only time Leatherface is said in the original movie?
I think so. Yeah.
So I wonder if that was that in the script or did he just come up with that?
I don't know.
Good
And then
question.
they just kind of rolled with it.
Yeah.
Remember when you called him Leatherface because he had a thing? Maybe we'll just use that as his name going forward.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's so many great shots in this movie, though. Daniel Pearl, who is a cinematographer, like he went on to do a bunch of shit, didn't he? For many years, and like I can't name you offhand what it was, but I think he's highly accomplished cinematographer. But some great shots in this. One of my all-time favorites is when you first see Terry McMahon's nice ass walking up to the house, and the way that they shoot it. Like I don't. We talked when we interviewed her, we talked about that. Like that's just, I mean, it's nice ass for sure, but it's a beautiful shot as well. The way that they panned out and it looks like the house is kind of covering her up or whatever, the way they filmed it.
Those two sequences back to back really are probably two of the best sequences in a horror film. So when Kurt goes in and like he gets killed, he's dragged in, and she kind of figures out he's lost or he's not there. And then she goes in and that crane shot follows, her. And then what happens to her? And the best part to me about that sequence is she makes it out the door and then he grabs her and like pulls her back in. And so it's like she almost just feeling like she almost got free. And then he just grabs her and pulls her in.
And knowing what happened to him, the dread of her walking towards the house and the music that's playing, you're like, oh no, like it's like, the doom's coming. Like she's basically walking into hell, basically at that point. Just seeing her walk in. She's kind of not thinking about that. Like, oh, I wonder where he is. He's taking so long. Like little did she realize what was going on behind that door. Right. So it's definitely, it works in so many ways.
I just looked up Daniel Pearl. He's got 311 cinematographer credits. So
that's
he's still doing shit. But yeah, I mean, someone mentioned here, let me see if I can find it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is not just a great horror film, it's a great film in general. It says everyone should watch it at least once. It's an experience for sure.
100%.
Yeah, I think everybody owes it to themselves to watch it at least one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was oh God.
He was cinematographer on so that is kind of odd. Oh well, but it was Michael Bay though. It was like he was probably overseeing it. I'm sure. No, fuck you. We're gonna put this grimy shit on it.
That's Michael Bay's advice to everything. It's gonna look like shit. Come on.
Take the saturation out, will you?
Yeah. But yeah, it is a perfect movie. I agree with Tarantino. People have tried to remake it for 50 years. Or make copies of it. And nobody's been able to. So 50th anniversary. It came out I think it was in August of 1974. So 50 years of the Saw Boss.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was a pretty successful show too. Not only did we do our rankings and kind of banter back and forth about some stuff, but Slippy came on at the beginning of the show. If anybody is coming in late, and dropped some exclusive stuff on the show, showed some exclusive stuff. So if you guys want to go check that out. And he kind of tells you where you need to be tomorrow around noontime. So good show, boys.
Yeah, piss on all that Vinegar Syndrome drop stuff. You need to be on the Synapse website at 12.
Synapsefilms.com at noon. You probably want to be pretty quick with it, because Slippy needs to retire. He's done after this, he says.
Did you
had enough of this bullshit.
Did you see the little Vinegar Syndrome teaser thing today? It was like,
I did, but I didn't get what it was.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Benny's bathtub too. I think
that's definitely what it is.
It's the Benny. Yeah, they're going to have the complete anthology of Benny's bathtub.
It's going to be like in a slipcase, like some steel book.
But yeah, man, it's been a fun show. It's good to get the Rad Pit back together again. You guys have been doing the Bravo 100 Scariest Movie Moment shows, so those are going to be
almost done.
Yeah, finishing those up in the next couple of weeks, I think. And me and Uncle Bill has a show on Saturday night that we're dropping where we're going to be reviewing this movie that everybody is talking about. It's going to be one of the many reviews on Dead Pit is watching this week. We're going to take a look at The Substance. So that'll be a fun one to talk about. Have you seen that one yet, Garrett?
No, I've heard great things though. I like Demi Moore, so it's something I'm really interested in for sure. As soon as this thing is available for me to check out, where I don't have to go to the theaters to see it, I'll check it out right away.
I think it's on pay streaming now. I think
is it really?
Okay. It. Yeah,
I think
I'll definitely check it out.
I think you'll like it, Garrett. Just knowing like what some of the stuff is you like. I have a feeling you will.
But yeah, that'll be a fun one to talk about.
Sure.
But yeah, I've been reviewing like 7 different movies on that show, but that's the
Kung Fu Rascals is going to be on that show too. Total Meltdown. Somebody had a request for Kung Fu Rascals.
That's the thing. Like we're trying to put all these reviews into one big thing so we can get them.
I think I have that somewhere. That just come out.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Rascals, baby, from 1992.
I haven't watched that yet,
dude. I can't wait till you do watch it.
Jesus.
But what do you got coming up, Garrett?
What day is today? Thursday. Tomorrow night we're doing a Rad Dudes Halloween special over on my channel at Born to Be Rad. It's me and Cody at Dude Who Loves Movies. We're going to be doing a countdown of our of costume countdown. So we're going to go back in time and we're going to talk about all the different costumes we each wore during Halloween growing up. So I have some pictures to show. We'll discuss them. A lot of Ben Cooper shit that I was rocking back in the day. So it's going to be a nostalgia show. And then Saturday morning, I am going to drop a show talking about the best 70s and 80s made-for-TV Halloween specials. So I'll be talking about that. And then Sunday, I'm with Uncle Bill, and we're going to be doing our Bravo 100 Scary Movie Moments on Sunday night. I will be at Chiller this weekend, too. So if anybody is at Chiller, I will be there all day on Saturday. So if you're there, come find me and say, what's up?
Who's the big guest at Chiller this year?
Chiller is like, it's freaking loaded this year, but it's a different kind of loaded. Like they're doing, Feldman's there. They're doing a Frog Brothers in costume photo op, which I'm really considering doing.
You got to do that. Ain't no way you're not going to do that, man.
I'm considering it, but it's one of those things. I'm like, well, what is he going to wear a wig? Because he just bleached his hair and cut it. So I don't know what the hell he's going to look like for that. But, who else? Mickey Rourke was there. He canceled though. Ringwald's there.
Did you say Molly Ringwald is there?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm gonna meet Cynthia Rothrock, and I got this for her to sign.
It's killer.
Sick, dude. Huh?
Yep.
Her and the hamster. Yeah. So I'll meet her. Billy Blanks is there. The dude from Trick or Treat's there.
Mark.
Yeah.
Frost.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a good lineup on there. It's actually one of the better lineups they've had in a long time. So it'll be fun. It's always fun doing the Chiller thing.
Yeah. And I can't remember though that everyone dies, but Friday Night Lives, right, Uncle Bill?
That's
it.
it.
Show coming up too.
Yep. That's Friday. This Friday, it's going to be the most disappointing films, the most disappointing horror films, I guess, more specifically. So it could be anything, but I think we all know, like in our lives, like what are some movies that we thought were going to be amazing that came out that weren't that good. So that'll be Friday Night Lives.
So there's all kinds of shit on both channels. So there's no excuse for all you guys to not be subscribed to both Born to Be Rad and the Dead Pit channel. Right.
Definitely hit the like button. And man, if you think people want to get a first look before tomorrow at what Slippy has to say, share these videos out. Let people know Slippy came on and did a little bit an exclusive teaser. So you saw it here first.
Hell yeah. And we thank Slippy for that as well. And y'all be quick on them computers tomorrow. And everybody have a good weekend and everything. And we will catch you guys next time over at borntoberad.com. And of course,
DEADPIT.com.
I'd like to tell people, thumbs up the video, Uncle Bill.
Would you?
Yes. Thumbs it up with violence and fury. And just love everything about it.
You hit the heart button, then you hit the ass button, then you hit the go fuck yourself button. Follow that up with the I don't give a shit button.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit Radio shirts. You can get Last South on the left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're going to love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Special thanks goes out to our supporters on Patreon. Do you know what kind of stuff you can get on Patreon, Uncle Bill, starting at only $1 a month?
What's that?
Access to every Dead Pit show since 2005. We got almost 200 fan commentaries that we've done over the decades.
We have a literal jukebox full of songs and thousands of reviews. I don't even know how many shows are up on there now that we've done over the years.
Hundreds of thousands.
You need to figure this out now and subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and Instagram and help us to 1 million. The road to 1 million subscribers starts today.
So Dead Pit on Patreon.com. Join today. Tiers start at only $1, but I'd recommend at least the $10 tier.
You can do 50. The stock market